Racial Profiling Act. It's a topic that's been brought to national headlines, and one of the co-sponsors of this bill is Minnesota Congressman Keith Ellison. He's joining us now. Congressman Ellison, explain this act to us, if you would, because it seems like putting an end to racial profiling could be a really tough bill to pass.
Well, I think that it shouldn't be a tough bill to pass. All it does is ask law enforcement to categorize and to provide data about stops and the decision for those stops, which would be only a few moments of their time. There's already ample paperwork that law enforcement takes into account already, and it would not take much time.
Exactly how will this change things then for law enforcement? Because they do have to provide reasons for stopping and arrests and everything else by way of their actions that they take.
No, as a matter of fact, that's not the case. I mean, often there are stops that happen. If there's no arrest associated with the stop, you may not ever know the basis for the stop, and you may not know if there's any sort of pattern which suggests that perhaps there's a bias in policing. And so it's just sort of capturing information. And at the same time, you know, it's important to point out that even the Bush administration and the Obama administration all agree that impermissible factors like race, religion are used to make a stop decision. That's not good policing. Good policing is making a decision based on conduct and behavior, not necessarily improper factors.
Sure.
Now, of course, the Trayvon Martin case is not a case involving police, but it is a case in which at least Mr. Zimmerman profiled Trayvon Martin.
Frank Gale with the National Fraternal Order of Police, though, testified against the End Racial Profiling Act. I'm sure you're aware of this. Here's what he said, though, for everybody at home.
Yeah.
It is clear that racism is morally and ethically wrong, and in law enforcement it serves no valid purpose. But it is equally wrong to think that a person is racist just because he wears a uniform and a badge. He also called the bill offensive. What do you think about it?
Well, I agree with that one statement that he made. I mean, and no one assumes that people are racist because they wear a uniform. In fact, I'm a tremendous supporter of our police and work hard to make sure they got the equipment that they need as much as I possibly can. But every profession has accountability. You as a journalist have accountability. When I was a lawyer, we had an ethics board we had to report to as a member of Congress. You know, there's a standards and conduct committee. So everybody has ethical standards to live by. If you're a doctor, you do. And, you know, most police officers understand that's part of what it means to be an officer, is to have to be accountable for what you do. Now, look, a lot of times, you know, there are biases that enter into a decision-making process that are below the conscious level. People don't know why they think this person is suspicious. They just kind of do. And if you have a pattern of, you might be able to use the data not to punish an officer, but to help in training.
That's what I would really want to ask you is, even if this act does pass, do you really, in your heart of hearts, think it will end racial profiling when police are patrolling the streets?
Well, let me tell you, the answer to that question is I don't think it's a panacea, but there's never been a piece of legislation passed in human history that stopped the problem that was trying to address immediately on the moment of enactment. You know, that's just not the way law works or rules work. I mean, but the bottom line is I think it will help and significantly improve and will reconnect the bonds of trust needed between the citizen and the law enforcement officer.
Congressman Keith Ellison, appreciate your time tonight. Thank you.